Absolutely tragic. 1000%. Even at 76, still had so much life to live, but at least he got to go out peacefully in his sleep. Yes, Apollo Creed, Chubs Peterson, Carl Weathers passes away peacefully in his sleep at 76, February 2nd, 2024. Probably the first big death of the year. Unfortunately, will not be the last, but this one really sucks, man, because I don't think anybody disliked Carl Weathers, whether it was, Apollo Creed or somebody. To me, his most famous role being Chubs Peterson, opposite of Happy Gilmore. There was nobody who ever had a bad things to say about him. So when I heard that news early Friday morning, it's like, oh man, like one of the good ones. Like, you're gonna take like, I don't know, Ron Perlman or some real piece of shit. Like, you couldn't have done that, but no, I guess God needed a boxing coach. God needed somebody to help him fight the Predator. God needed somebody to, I don't know, run a stupid sand canteen out in the middle of nowhere on a stupid streaming service. But yeah, man, all of the tributes that have come out, some of them have been far more heartbreaking than other ones. Like the Sly Stallone one was, oh boy, pretty tough. And, some of his former co-stars off of that stupid Mandalorian show, Pedro Pascal, really thoughtful, put about as much thought into that as his deliveries, his din jar, and the words fail. Yeah, we get it. You're a hack. But some of them are, personal, because anybody who worked with Carl Weathers, nothing but great things to say about him. That's another reason why, because I really like the Rocky movies. Like, the original Rocky is the greatest sports film ever, full stop. And in no small part due to Apollo Creed. He's worked in just about every medium with just about everybody. And well, the tributes, ever since the news of his passing, have been coming out fast and furiously. And we'll go over one of them specifically. Carl Weathers, who starred opposite as Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films opposite Sylvester Stallone, died Thursday. His manager, Matt Luber, confirmed to Variety. He was 76. Weathers also starred in 1987's Predator and had a memorable role in Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore as the former golf pro turned coach for Happy. Yes, Chubs Peterson. He was nominated for a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for his work in The Mandalorian, which, yeah, I've watched reviews of The Mandalorian. Shout out EFAP for their coverage on, seasons 2 and 3, which actually I just recently rewatched a lot of that stuff. And he was, Greef Karga was actually one of the more tolerable aspects of that show. But that's also due to just, Carl Weathers just being likable and really enjoyable to see on screen. He voiced Combat Carl in Toy Story 4, less said about that, the better, and played a fictionalized version of himself in a recurring role on Arrested Development. Other credits include TV series Street Justice, Colony, The Shield, Chicago Justice, Brothers, and the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Death Hunt, and The Comebacks. After working with Sandler on the 1996 golf comedy Happy Gilmore, Weathers briefly reprised his role in Little Nicky. Man, I watched Little Nicky once. Can't remember that. I can't remember that for the life of me, other than Adam Sandler's stupid voice. But if he was in, that's hilarious. And voiced a character in Adam Sandler's animated Hanukkah comedy 8 Crazy Nights, because once you're in with Adam, he's always going to find work for you. Born January 14th, 1948 in New Orleans, Weathers played a variety of sports, including boxing, football, soccer, wrestling, and gymnastics. Played football in college at San Diego State University and helped the Aztecs win the 1969 Pasadena Bowl. While at SDSU, Weathers also pursued a degree in theater arts, but in 1970 he signed with the Oakland Raiders as a free agent, and he played 8 games in the NFL as a linebacker across 2 seasons. After a stint in professional football, Weathers pivoted more seriously to acting, landing small roles in Arthur Marx's blaxploitation movies Bucktown and Friday Foster, as well as TV series including Good Times, cool, Kung Fu, Cannon, and Starsky and Hutch. In a Predator, yes, he played the Dillon, you son of a bitch, alongside Arnie, who went on to become the governor of California. You don't say, I didn't hear about that. And Jesse Ventura, a bunch of slack-jawed, who became the governor of Minnesota in 1988 and then would later go on to host a very informative series about conspiracy theories. Well, I'm just asking questions. He later returned to the live sketch show, hosting Saturday Night Live. Oh, wow. Running for political office on the basis that he was the black guy in Predator. Oh, hell, everybody else is getting, elected from this movie. Why can't I? Come on now. While Stallone asked Weathers for permission to use his footage from earlier Rocky films in the 6th movie of the franchise, 2006's Rocky Balboa. Ooh, probably the... Jesus. What do I want to go on that one? 4th best Rocky movie? God, it's been a minute since I watched Rocky films, but 2006 is really good. And then for as many characters, as many of your beloved legacy characters that got desecrated throughout the years, what the Creed spin-off of the Rocky series did to Apollo Creed, making him a deadbeat dad, oh, that pisses me off. But anyways, Apollo Creed, yes, dying in Rocky 2000, in Rocky 4. Yeah, I learned of the passing of Carl Weathers when I was out for a run on Friday, and the first thing that came to mind, was inspired by Rocky 4. I put on Living in America. I finished out the rest of my run to that because, it only seemed appropriate. Stallone, despite his character Apollo Creed, yes, dying in Rocky 4. Stallone said no, and he hired a lookalike actor to shoot flashbacks in the fight sequences. Yo, man, what the hell? The pair reconciled, and Weathers later allowed Stallone to use his likeness in the Creed sequel series, in which Michael B. Jordan plays Apollo Creed's, deadbeat son. Later in his career, Weathers landed smaller roles on TV procedurals, and he directed episodes of them too. He earned his first Emmy nomination in 2021, the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, in which he played Greef Karga in 9 episodes across 3 seasons. Weathers stepped into the director's chair at episode 12 and 20 of the Star Wars spin-offs. Yeah, and I won't necessarily hold that against him. Weathers is survived by his ex-wife and their 2 sons. And like I said at the beginning, a lot of the tributes have been very touching, some of them the varying levels of thought, but Carl Weathers deeply touched a lot of people, and the person that he did, and it also has a Star Wars connection, and another one of the more tolerable additions to that goofy post the Disney acquisition Star Wars canon is Gina Carano, and they had quite a close relationship, not just on screen, but off screen. I like that, okay. After Gina's unceremonious firing, she was basically depersoned by the studio. Her character was written off. Actually, it was the line that Greef delivered. It's like, oh no, yeah, she's working with the Rangers out on the Outer Rim. Yeah, don't have to worry about ever seeing her again. Why Navarro needs a brand new Marshal. Don't know what happened to Marshal Dune. Yep, she just disappeared. She got signed up by the Rangers, and away she went. Gina, in her tribute, revealed that Carl Weathers called her after her Mandalorian firing. Didn't want me to give up. It's a good dude. Didn't have to do that. That was probably putting his neck out on the line because, like it showed, it's like he was just getting bit parts out there, but at the same time, wanted to do good by somebody that he was working with. What a legend. Former Mandalorian veteran Gina Carano wrote a warm, lengthy tribute to her fellow Disney Plus Star Wars series co-star Carl Weathers on Instagram. The actor died today, Friday, at 76. Carano, who was not welcomed back for a 3rd season, well, that's one way to put it, of The Mandalorian or any other Star Wars spin-off, even though there was one very much in development. Rangers of the New Republic, don't have to worry about that. Or, after making controversial comparisons that seemed a little bit too apt now, especially in hindsight, said that Weathers called me directly after I was fired. Carano played bounty hunter Cara Dune for 2 seasons in The Mandalorian. Weathers portrayed a bounty hunter agent turned later High Magistrate of Navarro, Greef Karga. Weathers also directed 9 episodes of The Mandalorian. I thought it was only 2 episodes. Like Variety and Deadline are both owned by the same outlet, but you guys can't get your reporting on the same page. All right. And was nominated for guest actor in a drama series in the 2020 episode of Chapter 12, The Siege. Which one's 12, if I can remember correctly? Is that the one where the two, when they're trying to escape that base that was being blown up by the lava? I think it is. And the stormtroopers are so goddamn inept that they crash into each other while going down the hill through a chasm. Yeah, love Disney Star Wars. It's great stuff. I wasn't in an emotional state where I could pick up the phone because of how upset I was, but we did end up speaking later on, she writes from the hearing. about hearing from Weathers post her Disney dismissal. He was gentle and encouraging, and he didn't want me to give up. He was letting me know that he wasn't throwing me away. He was trying to keep my hope alive in what seemed like quite a hopeless scenario. He showed me he cared. That was who he was. I bonded with him very closely on Mando seasons 1 and 2. Jon Favreau felt he would be a good mentor for me because we shared the athlete-turned-actor bond, so Jon had him direct my first episode in season 2 of Mando. I believe we've gotten to Rangers, the New Republic. Carl would have directed me and much more. Jon Favreau was right. We were a great fit. Carl was a mentor to me on set. He would put both his arms on my shoulders, look at me directly in the eyes to calm my spirit. He had a wonderful perspective of telling a story that only could come through his experience and wisdom that he shared with me to help me shine. I cherish those moments. Dude, it's super sad. I don't really report on all of the, actors' deaths or the ones that I find significant. But yeah, Carl Weathers, like I said, and like you've probably seen with other tributes that are out there as well, nobody had a bad thing to say about him. Everybody liked him when he was on the screen, even if he was in some terrible productions. It's just sad to see one of the good ones go far too soon. Far too soon. Still had so much to give, but rest in peace. The great Carl Weathers. Thankfully, he did give us so much before he decided to check out. Godspeed into the hereafter, Carl. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.